Welcome back to some Dwarf Fortress. This is episode 11. We're going to dive right into some Fated Swords. Thank you for um, joining me. If you got any questions, please leave a comment. If you actually think this video is good, please leave a like. I appreciate that. But we're going to get into, and hopefully we can continue to set up that fortress that is impenetrable, that where we only have to worry about enemies from the outside or from the inside that we have to deal with, instead of enemies from the outside. So currently, we had a couple of snatchers pop in and try to attack us last episode. Luckily, we took them out pretty quickly. One, our dwarf came up and just took their head out, and then the other, there's a little bit of fighting, but nothing our super militarized dwarves were able to do. So we're going to continue to let our dwarves continue work. I didn't do anything in between episodes. It's just one after the other. I know we talked about setting up a stockpile over here. And we talked about that being, I believe, is some finished goods for our clothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to select, we're going to get rid of all. We only want, say, armor, codices, stuff we don't want to sell. Chains. We don't want crutches to sell. We don't want flasks to sell. Goblets. Handwear, headwear. Any large, well, for now, large gems. We might change that, but like where any of these kind of bottom things, we do want to sell rings and scepters. Any splints, tools, totems, and totems we can sell, and toys we can sell. So that should be good. And we'll get that all set up. We'll come back up here. We'll view this stockpile. It looks like our dwarves are hard at work. We'll get rid of all those things over here now. So things we want to sell, it's probably easier to do the opposite. I want to sell amulets, bracelets, crowns, earrings, figurines. Let's continue down. Scepters and rings. And totems and toys. So this should be everything. They should bring this stuff up here. We're going to find a spot for this leather here soon. These sheets here soon, the coins and the cloth. So that we only have the stuff we want to sell up on this level 1. So they can just grab it, move it over here as soon as the traders come. We did have a bunch of rope reeds we have queued off for our herbalists to go grab. Let's see where they're at. Quite a few of our herbalists are also planters. Let's see. You can do that also, you novice. And then we also have a blacksmith. Ooh. So this new blacksmith, if you're going to be a blacksmith, you better be a furnace operator. And I'm fine with that. Let's see if he's anyone an armor smith. Nothing really as far as an armor smith. Maybe a weaponsmith? Nope. But he can operate the furnace, which is perfectly fine for us. Continue to make more of that steel. We can actually check how much steel we have by coming over here, scrolling down to, whoops, I scrolled way too far down, to bars. Skip all the iron. There's our steel. We've got 12 steel bars, so that should be able to allow us to make a lot more steel armor. So we're going to make a couple more steel body parts, steel breastplates for our military dwarves. So we'll get them queued up over here. We'll do 3 because I think they require 3 each, maybe 4, to use up all the steel that we have currently. Get our dwarves properly armored up, or at least our main military force, because these guys are going to be our go-to dwarves to fight anything. Our next, we've got the other military dwarves. They should be. So we got a couple of recruits here. Here's our militia captain over here for our kind of our secondary kind of strong military force. There, he's only using a training axe, but I'll probably change that. This guy's got looks like an iron battle axe. Which for weapons, we'll create a couple more iron battle axes for people to use. Battle axes tend to be kind of the better item to use. This is really important. The weather is cleared. What I do want to also do, Galena ore. Galena will give us either silver or it'll give us lead. And what I'll use for that lead, I'll use the lead to make chains. So we can make those traction benches we talked about a handful of episodes ago for our hospital over here. Currently, we got quite a few things. Probably we'll have to, we'll have to set up a couple more chests for more items in here. We'll just make sure that they're of the lowest quality because they don't really care for that, or it doesn't really matter if it's in there or not. I'll make a process plants. Our main dwarf is doing a great job keeping up with that, but hopefully here soon we should be able to, with rope reeds being harvested, we should be able to queue this up to be rope reed. Ah, perfect. We want them every season of the year. And there is our clothing industry, a bunch of rope reed. Pigtails are good, but they're only harvested during the summer and the autumn time. Rope reed are year round is probably the best one, in my opinion, to use for clothing. So our dwarves will get on to doing that. They still have to create the second farming plot, but that is perfectly fine if it's not being made currently. Good. Our first set of military dwarves are done doing their training. Our second set is over here doing some training. He's got a couple different items which I'd rather have on these guys, but let's see if I update equipment. None of them have that. We need 4 shields for them. So when we get some more steel, I'll worry about that. Let's see. Plenty of steel bars right here. There's a pig iron bar and another pig iron bar. That means I can keep one more steel. And that should even out everything there. There we go. We'll let everything continue to run. Last episode, we got our first enemy captured in a trap, this rat folk. So that's really good for us. Let's see what kind of enemies we got. We still have the pond grabbers and we still have the ravens. So, not the end of the world. Good. Our dwarf making the crafts is starting to make masterpiece crafts, so that is really good for us. This has finally been engraved, and now I can actually set up. I should have that pedestal display to display our second artifact. Good, they're milking those cows, making cheese. They got plenty more yarn, hopefully. They got plenty more rope reed seeds, so they can start planting up here also and keeping that business going. I like to have plenty of rope reed because it's not just used for cloth, it's also used for paper. And when we set up a library, we'll probably need that. Over here, I did plan on setting up what I wanted as our leather area because we have our leather works right there. And I want leather right here. And I did want to queue up 10 backpacks. Leather backpacks. And I did want this all made out of, we got plenty of cat leather, we got some jaguar leather, we got plenty of, I believe, eagle leather, so we'll make a bunch of eagle leather. We'll actually make 20 eagle leather backpacks. That'll allow our military dwarves to throw on that backpack and use that to carry around meals. So they don't have to come down here, interrupt their training, and create meals. And also with that galena that I was gonna smelt down, hopefully we can get some lead. I'll also make some lead flasks. We don't have to worry about lead poisoning, so that's a good thing. And we'll let this continue. Oops. And good, we none of our dwarves are no longer in that super unhappy. We got one dwarf that's really happy. That's really good. Continue to bring up most of our happiness up to this happier, up to the higher side. And we got plenty more. We got some bridges set up. That is something I haven't done yet. Is set up these new levers for that. So that is something I should have done last episode, but we'll set up these two right here. This will be that first cavern level, and then I'll set up another two over here for that second cavern level. And let's check out our kitchen, see how much food products we have. So we got some acorns, some sweet pods, some pecans, some plum helmets. We got a decent amount of plum helmets. I want to hold off on those bloated tubers. I want them to use that for brewing. Anything I can not use to drink, I don't want them to use any kind of alcohol to cook. I'd rather have that mainly for drinking purposes. I don't want them to cook the tallow because that is what I'm going to use to make fat or to make soap. So what I'll do, I believe, yep, we got that ashery set up. So we're going to need to make some, I believe it's lye or potash from ash. That's something I can check out real quick. So, but we're not too worried about that right now. We don't have anybody getting hurt, but that is something we will do in between episodes. Check that out and see what we need to make soap. I believe it's ash and to potash, and then we'll use that for soap. So our dwarves are working diligently. I believe they got plenty more stuff to mine out. Let's also queue up this to be dug out down here. They're starting to work on these kind of crossroads over here. It looks like we got a new petition. This is probably, yep, eradicating monsters. More stuff we're finding, more cats adopting dwarves, more staircases being constructed, allowing our dwarves to get around quicker. Let's see, we should have a lot of this stuff already being taken. So we do need to set up those other, yep, we need more bedrooms set up. So we'll set up some beds. I want these beds to be kind of closer to the door, that way they don't have to walk so far. And then we'll also set up those bedrooms so more doors can be like, hey, this is my bedroom, and get that happy indicator or that happy thought from sleeping in a good bedroom. What we're also going to do is we're going to set up some more bedrooms over on this side. Perfect. For these ones, I'll dig further down. And these ones will be on the top side. And I'll do the same over on this side. So we can get some more bedrooms in here. These are huge bedrooms for dwarves. Most of the time they're happy with just super small ones. But this is to make give them that better debuff from sleeping in bedrooms. I'll get rid of that. I want this one over here. And our mining dwarves are working diligently doing that. There we go. We got a bunch more doors we need to put in. Almost forgot about that. The BP, I believe R is the door for the hotkeys. You did need to double check down here on this. Oops, up here. This is not quite where we want it. Almost getting up to that guild hall area level. But what we can do is we're gonna engrave these couple of spots right here. We're gonna actually set up doors under them. I want to make sure that that labor is only selected to, so only those certain dwarves will engrave that stuff so that they can work on that, get higher quality, and make masterpiece engravings. Unselect all this. I can probably unqueue a bunch of this stuff to give us indications. And I want to make sure these doors are probably of the higher quality. Although we don't have many high quality doors currently, which isn't the end of the world. Whoops. BPR. That's a good door right there. That's a good door right there. And that should be... Alright, welcome back to some Dwarf Fortress. We're going to continue with our Fated Swords Fortress. We'll get right into it. That was my last episode rendering. It just kind of popped up right there. Oh, there we go. We got a microline door right there. And we'll set up a couple more things to be engraved. Maybe these 2 rows. And hopefully that'll bring up the value of this room. Doors working hard at what they're doing. That's really good to see. Like I said, I still need to work on adding all these doors as well as doing before. Just so that they can have a little privacy when they're in there sleeping. And now that we're getting down to a low amount, our manager said queue up a bunch more doors to be made so we can continue to pump out some more over there. Did want to check out making sure our masons are only selected to, so these guys will only do that. I will add some more doors over here, hopefully soon. One thing I can do to increase the value stuff, I can actually add the pedestal and I can throw in an artifact in there. But let's see, I believe it was under figurines. Yeah, there we go. We want this figurine displayed in our main dining room so that dwarves get more of that boost when they see that. And we'll just let everything continue. Let's check down here. Looks like good, they've dug this out, so I want them to also kind of dig this area out also, and then I can set up some floors over here so I can protect the animal in there just in case anything tries to climb up there. What I will do is I'll create a pen and pasture down here. Well, looks like I've already got one. And I will queue up one of my hunting dogs into that area. And I'll do the same over here. Create a pen and pasture. Put one of my hunting dogs over in this area. And once they're in, I can close those off. And more humans coming to kind of eradicate monsters. Looks like we've dug all the way down to elevation 10. I want to just kind of take straight across. I want to see what we can find. Maybe we'll come across the cavern, maybe we won't, but if we do, that's great. If we won't, well, we'll continue to dig down. What we can do is it looks like there's not much over here. I want to come over here and let's see, gypsum, macroline, gypsum, oh, tetrahedrite. So I'm gonna, on this level, I'm gonna do it slightly differently. I want them to auto mine any ore or gem. So I'll select this to do that, and when they actually mine these areas, they'll just continue mining those veins out. And I want them to mine me out any. It looks like there's nothing else right here, but that's fine. But you can see right here, dwarf, they'll just mine that out, and every single time a new one pops up that has that tetrahedrite, they'll just continue mining that. And also select the same over here for this gem cluster, so they can mine that out also. But you can see this allows it so that our dwarves will just continually mine any vein of material that we want. And sometimes they'll give you pretty unique kind of paths in there, and you can kind of create cool fortresses using this. But for now, I just want to help you guys set up just that generic, I said generic, that base that'll help get you to be able to have this opportunity to kind of set this stuff up. Kind of set you guys up as much as I can. No, it looks like it's early spring now, so that's a great thing. Stuff should start melting. We will check out the civilization. Hopefully, no one's really at war right now, but we as soon as an enemy declares war on us, we are gonna turn right back around and we are gonna destroy them. Now that we kind of got a pretty good military setup. Takes a minute for this, but I'm perfectly fine with that. It should be getting close to the end, and I'll designate that. Looks like we got another petition. Yeah, you can stay here to eradicate monsters. Eat. That's not the end of the world. We should have plenty of food. Come over here, look at our prepared meals. We got 8 of them. Not the worst, but we might change this up so that instead of easy meals, we're going to start setting up fine meals. So fine meals, and we're going to do it so that whenever we have less than 5 fine meals, or whenever we have, yeah, we're starting to get more. So whenever we have less than 10 meals, I want them to start doing that. So, and I'll probably change this to maybe 15. I don't want to create too many because Then they'll sit there and they'll rot and they'll create miasma, and that is no bueno. Hmm. Our meeting place is not quite up to the guild hall standard, so we do need to do a little bit more engraving, maybe one more layer. Hopefully this should be more than enough. One thing I need to do is I need to get rid of just a layer around here for each one. I can leave this one right here. Whoops. All. That way when I designate this as a meeting area, they'll have everything in here. And there's not going to be any overlap when I say, hey, I want this to be a meeting hall for dwarves. So there's, like I said, there's not going to be any overlap, so nothing happens there. It looks like we got, yep, scared that away with our hunting dog. That's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Set up a couple fortifications here. Continue to make that out of our slate blocks. Sorry, I believe it's shale blocks. We have plenty of shale, so we should be able to queue up a lot more blocks made out of shale. Where is that? Surprised it's not showing up. Ah, shale, right there. Infinitely. So that is exactly how we wanted that to work out, so that anything that tries to sneak in here, hey, we see them immediately. Our rope reproduction's going really well over here. We'll set up, we'll just get this to process more plants indefinitely. Good, our butcher's working. We got a bunch of leather down here. We're going to start continue to bring leather down. Maybe this stockpile currently has. Ah, yes, we don't need leather up here anymore. So we'll start hauling all our leather down. And then I'm going to set up currently, just so we can get out of this stockpile on here, we're going to set up some blocks and bars, and we're going to make any kind of blocks of any of these so that they'll move all these block bars from down here into this top area. And I believe we do need a lot more bins. You can tell because down here at the bottom, all those items that are not in bins show me, hey, that means that they need bins for that. See, still no new animals on here. Ooh, our woodcutter has taken a fey mood. Let's see if we can find him. Woodcutter, meditating. Let's find them over here. And let's follow them and see where they're going. This is a lot more fey moods than I'm normally used to, but that's perfectly fine. They've taken that workshop and it looks like they are coming out here and they're probably going to grab some wood, I'm guessing. Yep, so it's going to be made out of pecan wood, or pecan wood, depending on how you pronounce that. Probably going to come out here and grab some more wood. An elven caravan. Ooh. Did we create more crafts? That is a big thing. Rock crafts. So with the elves, you want to make sure you do not sell anything. I'm going to make 200 of those. Plenty. We don't sell anything that's made out of wood. However, like metal items, because we smelted it down and such, they don't care about that, but they do care if we try to sell them a wooden bin. So if we're trying to sell items from a wooden bin. We just need to make sure we do not select that wooden bin. So good, he's started his construction over here. He's going to use a couple different wood blocks, some claystone, some cat bone. And they've got plenty of dates, walnuts. Let's see. Kind of scroll through and see what kind of things they have to sell. Elves, most of the time, hey, dwarves don't get along with elves, but if we can create a pretty good trading agreement with them, they'll actually bring in some unique animals that are already completely tame, and maybe we'll get some good animals. We can maybe get some grizzly bears, maybe some snakes or something like that. Set up another block over here so that they can finish off that fortification. So good, we've got our first elven caravan. Let's look at the world map. So currently everyone's still green. There's no red on the map. When something becomes red, we are then at war with that civilization. We are currently really good. So that is what I want to see. I want to see if there's any kind of... I don't know if our dwarves can make it over here, but does not look like there is any necromancer towers. Necromancer towers usually have a book that has that meaning of life and death. Okay. Oh, and our dwarf has made another artifact. So we have made a pecan wood figurine. We'll take a look at this. So this artwork relates to the destruction of the mahogany ore explained in Fated Swords in the spring of 102. It is decorated with pecan wood and cat bones. The object is adorned with with hanging rings of pecan wood and menaces with spikes of claystone. So it's the destruction of the mahogany ore, which I'm not quite sure what they're talking about there, but hopefully we can figure that out. We'll see what we can trade over here. So, figurines. Nope, that's the one we just made. See if there's any finished good spins. So we got some right there, 2000s. 2000 value in that, that's really good. More finished goods right here. And more right there. That should be more than enough for what we want. Waiting those 3 items, and we're going to have our broker come up here. And we can actually, to help kind of move along this, our little guild hall over here, we're going to actually set up a pedestal, and we're going to install that artifact over here, and that will greatly increase the value of their guild hall, and that should suffice as far as our agreement with them to make that guild hall. So let's come down here. We want that pedestal. We want them made ASAP. Dwarf should come down here and start grabbing that. And for this, I want them to only be taking from here. That way they don't have to walk a good distance or anything. Now I'll set this up also for right here. And same with our crafts dwarf. Well, our crafts dwarf I'll leave slightly open, just because it sometimes will use wood. Carpenters, I will do that for over here. So they only take from there. Okay, our pedestal is made. Oh, we got to check on our noble hall over there, but we can actually create that pedestal, that display right here. We'll put it somewhat centralized. It's probably not perfect, but it's near close. Let's check out our noble. So they still don't have the perfect dining hall, study, and um, what is it? Dining hall, study, and bedroom that they need. But once we engrave stuff, that should remedy that. What we can do is we can also add statues in these areas. And I want them to engrave some things. Let's engrave a couple items here, a couple items there, a couple more than a couple over here. And we'll check out on our elven friends currently. Let's see. They all the stuff that elves make are out of wood, so a lot of the stuff is not needed. Let's scroll down. Doesn't look like there's any enemy or any animals currently, but like I said, I want to build up that relationship with them. We'll buy a bunch of their dates and limes and all their fruits and stuff like that. We can make alcohol of this. Give our dwarves a little bit of variety. We'll increase the value over here. As we increase this, you can see where the trader loss goes down. Hopefully we can do trader profit. We'll get that up into the green and we'll just call that good from there. Not a lot, not as much as I'd hope. And we can buy a whole bunch more of these, but our dwarves, we're pretty good as far as food wise. I'll do one more page of this. And we'll trade for that. And then from here, I want them to actually take those things out of here. So let's go to bins. I want you to unselect these so our dwarves will start grabbing that stuff and bring it back. So that, because if we leave stuff here, sometimes the traders will actually take that. And we don't want that, of course. But we got plenty more stuff to brew. So we're going to brew a bunch more from fruits, which they brought us. And then we'll also brew some from plants. Our dwarves are making fine meals, which should hopefully help out our industry over there. We got plenty more pigtail socks being made up. We could probably queue up. I want to see. I think we have a lot of rope reed, hopefully. Let's do shoes. Make cloth shoes and specify cloth. Oh yeah, we have plenty of rope reed, so we'll make 40 of these also. And we're also going to set up another clothier workshop. We're continue to make that out of where, oh, we got a decent amount of steel bars. We can start setting up some more stuff to be made from that. Oh yeah, those levers, can't forget to link those. So I want this one to the outside, and I want this one to the inside one. And perfect, they've dug that out, so I can build, build construction. What I'll do is I'll select all of this out of the shale blocks, and then I'll cancel these. Because if I select this first one, and then I try to select these four, it won't allow us because they don't have any walking space. But if I do it this way, it'll, after they do this one, they'll just naturally finish off the rest. And I can set up that fortification over here. And our dog over here, it might die if we get a forgotten beast that can shoot stuff, like breathe fire or web or poison. But that'll also give us an indication if that is something we want to deal with, because some forgotten beasts, they'll spit out or they'll have corrosive blood and such, and if they breathe on our dwarves and then later on our dwarves will start dropping, that's no good. Like I said, I'm going to queue up a couple more steel. I want 4 more steel shields. And I could queue this up as a test, but it's fine right now. I'll make some steel stuff down there, and we'll make some steel gauntlets over here. Armor, steel, gauntlets. And our dwarves will start making some more armor for more of our dwarves. Equip, let's see. Nothing currently, but you can see we still need a lot more of this, a lot more armor. These guys have plenty. This guy's actually getting breastplate, shoes, and boots, and yeah, we need a lot more bags also. So I'll probably queue up some more backpacks to be made. Whoops, did not mean to click that again. Backpack, leather, and I want these to be also made out of that eagle leather. I'll make 13. That should be enough for all our military dwarves. I also want to check. They should be starting to smelt that galena ore. So we should, yep, we've got some lead, which is good. Once we get 10, I'll queue up 10 lead flasks. Don't worry, your doors don't have to worry about any kind of lead poisoning. We got plenty of food, we're starting to run a little low on drink, but with all that new drinks being queued up, that should start going away. I wonder, did I queue up more mugs to be made? I believe I did. Let's see some of our dwarves. This guy's not too happy. Unable to make merry. What we can do to change that is let's come down to our process plants. It's been complete. We got a couple more tests to do. This is very much that management side of things. I want to have that new display item. I believe it's a figurine. Which one was it? I believe, yes, it's the pecan one because we have that tower cap one over here. And that should increase the value of this significantly. What we can do in here is we can set up a performer. Let's see. You can be a performer, this poet. That should hopefully they'll start doing some performances of their poems over here, and that should help our dwarves' happiness go up. That is running along, and we're just gonna kind of let this. We don't need him over here anymore now that we've traded. Dwarves are working diligently at becoming better fighters. Our spear dwarf over here. Combat is high master fighter. Accomplished spear dwarf. That is really good. All of them have their proper weapons. Nothing. Oh, we've accomplished our agreement with the guild hall. That artifact probably was installed. So, looking at this, yeah, that value has shot up significantly. Merchants will be leaving soon. Our rope reed production is going really well. Our process plants. Let's queue this up to be continued. Whoops, I did not mean to select more milk to be harvested, but there we go. And our civilization is working diligently at everything that we need. So looks like they've dug out all this, and what we can do is just to make sure our miners stay busy. Queue this up to dig a long path, and if we come across any ores, we'll highlight that as auto, and they'll dig that out. More cats are growing up, which means we probably need to set up a couple more cats to be slaughtered just in case. Let's see. Kittens, cats right here. We'll slaughter all these male cats. And we'll continue to dig this out. But luckily, it looks like our fortress is finally setting into some good quality, kind of relaxing time. Nothing to worry about. Our dwarves are diligently doing all their tests, and we should be good as far as the food and drink. We just need to keep to managing their happiness, and once we set up those things down in the mines to make sure that they get linked up, and we get this guy completely enclosed. That's closed off. That's really good. We should not have to worry too much about enemies over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to designate a whole bunch of this area to be just straight up dug out, so that our dog can have a better line of sight for everything. So yeah, anything coming from the north they should see, and hopefully anything from the south they should see quick enough. We'll be able to hopefully close this up, and if we don't in the proper time, we'll be able to close this one up. Our hammer dwarf has bestowed a new name upon his iron warhammer. That's really cool. Let's check out our dwarves down on this level. They're doing good, mining more of that out. Let's queue up more of this stuff to just kind of be dug out. We got some more migrants too, which reminds me we need more of those bedrooms set up. But this episode might be a little bit shorter than the rest, nothing too crazy. I'll get these bedrooms set up also, and we should call it there, folks, and thank you for joining me again as we continue to build our fortress up, make it so that it's impenetrable from enemies, and all set up in case we get attacked from the outside, so that all we have to worry about is interior attacks. But thank you for joining me. This has been Koi Boy, and I appreciate you guys watching the videos. If you guys got any questions, just let me know. I will accept this last little thing. It looks like we got another group of dwarves that need another temple set up. I'll accept that. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and adios.